And welcome back to Omen Exitio Plague. I tried. I stopped for a second, and it's like, how can I fucking say this word another different way? And I don't like. I think I've gone through every possible pronunciation of the word Exitio. I think I have, and so we've gone back to basics. Rocky Jaws. Oh, give me a second, William. What are you doing? Oh, I'm back. William was interrupting my recording rudely. So soon, too. I barely got past the intro, mister. Okay. Slowly you approach the opening in the rocks. The smell of the sea is strong, but there's something else. A stench which increases and overcomes the initial salty dampness. The rocks of the walls around are covered in this slimy substance. Clearly not a type of algae. It's called Great Old One Juice. The smell is acrid and sickeningly sweet, and so disgusting as to be almost unbearable. The tunnel is very tight, and you immediately realize that it'll be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to enter without being seen. You're also convinced that this must be the only entrance. It is certainly logical, meaning that the place is very easy to defend. Oh, I don't know what we're gonna do with all this. I don't... Like, what? I've got a book. I've got a drawing. And I got a little knife. Let's take down the great old ones. A few meters further on, it becomes immediately dark. A faint glow is visible at the far end, however. You silently and cautiously continue on along the passageway. The cave gets narrower in some places, and you must squeeze up against the greasy walls. Oh, the greasy walls. You can see very little in the almost darkness, and you can hear large drips in the cave against the distant echo of chanting and drumming. But it all sounds so strange with the warped acoustics. As you're progressing, you begin to feel lightheaded, and the first symptoms of a fever, causing you to stop and lean against a wall for a moment. If the idea did not seem immediately absurd to you, you might have thought that you were suffering from the first symptoms of the disease, as if it had been waiting dormant, hidden inside you, only to be awakened by this awful place. Can you imagine, like, meeting up here on the reg? Like, just imagine that shit. Like, oh yeah, Friday meeting, Dave. Let's go on down to the nasty-ass fucking tunnel. You resume walking, trying to reject this foolish notion. Suddenly, the tunnel widens into a cave, but you're still unable to make out any details of your surrounding. It would be great to be observant. I don't know that I'm observant enough. We're gonna try. Shitting shit. I think we're at a point where if it's not maxed out, you ain't passing that check. You are still unable to really see much of what is happening inside, so you creep closer to get a better view. Oh shit. Was a bad sound. The tunnel opens into a room carved out of the rock. You have just enough time to notice symbols carved into the walls when you're struck violently on the head and you lose consciousness. God damn it. Signed, a friend. Were they actually a friend, though? I'm still unsure. As if you are emerging from the deepest of seas, you fade back into reality and your eyelids feel the compulsion to open. It is a lengthy and awkward process, involving many painful shudders along the length of your body, especially in the places where you were struck. Do we have anything now? Okay, I've got some stuff, I guess. That's nice. That's nice. It takes you a while to remember who you are and where you are. You can feel the effects of a fever. Your skin is burning, your head is spinning, your throat is swollen, and your hearing is impaired as if muffled. Nonetheless, you hear chanting in the distance. I'm so tired of being captured. It's happened about 1,000 times. After a time, you regain your senses enough to look about and observe your surroundings. You're in a small cell hewn from the rock, lying, still fully dressed, on a coarse, thin mattress on a wooden plank attached to the wall. We knew you were coming. The time of the comet is upon us. The time of Hastalik is upon us. It was inconceivable that you could be absent. Yeah. You would attempt an answer, but your mouth has gone numb. Now the walls feel dry, as if coated with a thin layer of sand. You can only just make out the figure standing in the doorway. She is wearing only the dark kilt and the mask of the cult, as they do. I'll try to get up, I guess. You force your shivering body to sit up, but are immediately racked by convulsions. You manage to turn your head just in time to vomit on the floor. With nausea and dizziness shaking your whole body, you just need to lie straight back down. There's nothing you can do now anyway. The ritual is about to take place. You belong to Hastalik now. He is burning inside you. Can you feel the fever? It is his spirit growing inside you. You have felt his power more and more as you've journeyed toward this temple, wherein he is entombed. At last, his chains will be broken. Finally, our cult's efforts will come to fruition. Hastalik, Lord of Legions shit, will finally have dominion over the world, and we shall rule with him. Whoa! Whoa! The woman begins chanting in a primitive, harsh, and incomprehensible language, a language you have never heard before, composed of guttural sounds, akin to grunting or wild growls. There is only one word which you can recognize as being repeated over and over: Hastalik. Your fever appears to be getting worse, or could it be something else? What is this strange feeling going on inside you? You are unable to reason, and unable to think. Yet, despite the constant harrowing chanting, your eyelids close and you fall asleep. Oh. I don't like this. I don't like the looks of this shit. Where are we at on points? Are we? Not quite enough to get more. I'm hoping that going all the way with medicine will be a good idea. It felt like the good thing to do, being a doctor, but we'll see. A wave of swirling, unfamiliar colors hits your retinas. They seem at the limit, if not beyond, the range of colors of the ordinary world. Some seem to have spatial depth, others smell of opaque yellow, though you would normally have no idea what opaque yellow smells like. Carmine red squeezes your intestines, or maybe your intestines are that color. I don't like these words being used to describe these things. Just looking at them gives you vertigo and makes you nauseated, yet you cannot look away because they are all around you. You are in a place, in a physical location, but you are struggling to find even the vaguest point of reference. There is a regular geometry to your surroundings, but it is a reality with other rules that you can only define as alien in some way. All the shapes you can see are distorted and unfathomable. Even as you take a step, you are unable to determine in which direction you have moved. You had believed that you were moving upward, but when you hazard a second step, you find yourself on a downward incline. You are hit by a wave of panic. Jake. You hear your name being called from all directions. Why do they keep calling me? Never mind. I'm just gonna keep going. I'll leave my questions for a bit. You hear your name being called from all directions at once from the outside, but also seemingly on the inside. It is called only once and by a single voice, but it sounds to you as if it is shouted and whispered 10, 100, or even 1,000 times. Something moves closer to you. You cannot understand its aspect, or even whether it is a man or a creature, nor can you make out exactly where it is. Is it in front of you? Or at your side? I don't think that I trust it, so I'm going to escape it. You move in the opposite direction to the approaching thing, but nearly end up running into it. You back off, turn, and again try to get away from it, but your senses betray you once more. You cannot even distinguish up and down properly. In the grip of a terrible nausea, you fall and hit against something. The voice repeats your name, Jake. Open your eyes, Jake. Look at me. You reopen your eyes, not even realizing that you had them closed. For a few moments, you are dazzled and nauseated by the brilliant colors and shapes, but your eyes adjust, and finally you can see the figure that called your name approach. Oh, shit. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. His features are humanoid, but his face has a soft, almost fluid texture, and changes from one moment to the next. Although his skin is dark, its appearance shifts constantly from one face to another. Yeah, I know. Do you recognize me, Jake? Yeah. You recognize the messenger, then the coach driver, now the servant in the livery, now the librarian, now Abbas, the fisherman, and finally Betsarai, the interpreter. Of course you recognize all the faces that you have seen from Zanzibar onwards. All have been unimportant people who have helped you in some small way or pushed in a certain direction. But between one human face and the next, there are flashes of light. In these flashes, you catch momentary glimpses of inhuman, savage creatures, undefinable horrors which alternate with the human faces. Are you? Ooh, if that's the informant, I don't know. I'll go with it. Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. I didn't know we were just gonna go full Lovecraft here. It's very inappropriate that they used him in a episode title earlier, and it was not in fact Nyarlathotep. Yes, I was your friend. I'm your friend. You're Nyarlathotep. Yes, I was your friend, your informant. I am Nyarlathotep, messenger of the god Azathoth. Oh, I don't like your look. As his voice is speaking these words, his appearance mutates yet again, taking on even more unspeakable features. First, he becomes a creature whose head is one huge red tentacle. Then he becomes an Egyptian pharaoh. Thanks to you and to the comet, Hastalik will be released tonight from his ancient prison in the abyss. If summoned with the comet ritual, the passage of the comet and the right celestial configuration will provide the energy necessary for the buried god to break free from his prison. I'm glad Nyarlathotep has given me the lowdown and everything. Tonight, Hastalik will give free rein to his hunger, spreading like the thousands of plagues and disease that make up his being. Nyarlathotep's face and aspect change continually. Innumerable men and monsters appear before you in turns, and his rattling voice penetrates your body like something with a definite physical form. You close your eyes. That would be my response. Like, oh, fuck all this shit. His servants shall be his slaves, but they will also hold the reins of the world for him. The future for the human race will be in death and suffering. You, Jake, are in fact the key to releasing Hastalik. Yet, by the same token, you could also lock him up forever. Is this happening? Is this really happening, or are these merely delusions caused by the fever? Have you really become the turning point of a clash between alien beings, divine entities from a different plane of existence, fighting for control of the planet? Or are these mere feverish delusions, the fruits of paranoia and delirium caused by the disease and all the things you've been through? Whatever. I guess. We've been through enough. Oh, I failed an achievement. What was it? Dialogomancy. You haven't completely understood the true nature of Nyarlathotep. How could one really, though? Why me? Although you have hundreds of questions, this is both the most urgent and the first which you are able to verbalize. You are a doctor. You understand the concept of a healthy carrier. You are infected with the original strain, derived from Hastalik himself. Yet you are here, neither dead nor healed. Can you feel it there inside you, pervading your entire being? It has been there the whole time, and now that Hastalik is near, it has reawakened. A healthy carrier? Entirely unaware of the fact, this whole time you yourself would have been the perfect subject for your research on the disease. Yeah, I don't know why we didn't do that. You silly boy. Although it must, of course, have been a different strain, for the simple fact that you contracted the disease from a sick man, and not by inoculation by the syringe of the cult. If you were not caught up in this absurd and distorted reality yourself, you would no doubt find the tragic irony of it all somewhat amusing. Yeah, it's not really the time for all that, is it? Hastalik is the disease itself, yet his essence is never confined. His body is like a swarm. Every particle of the disease is part of him. He is the disease and all its emanations, but Hastlick is many other diseases too. He is, what did that doctor call it? A virus. That's kind of fun. I mean, Lovecraft obviously didn't really do that himself, but I like the idea of a great old one being disease. It's fun. Nyarlathotep constantly shifts in appearance and position. For some seconds, he is on your right as one of the black men you met in Delft. Then he is 3 steps ahead of you, a stern-looking coach driver. Since you are already in communion with Hastlick, you are the perfect candidate for the climax of the rite taking place in a number of hours, in conjunction with the passing comet. As such, however, you are also the only element that could ruin it. I guess I'll just trust Nyarlathotep. Why not? His final words come from behind you, and so you turn your head, but when you do, there's nothing there. You do not even bother looking around, because you have realized that in this world, vision is no longer the primary sense. Nyarlathotep has gone, leaving you to this strange and distorted reality. Imago Dei. Image of God, perhaps? I don't know. Ooh, we're real close. We're real close. I don't know which one needs to go up, though. After your conversation with Nyarlathotep... I find it so funny. I wasn't like... people do Lovecraftian stuff, but they so... I like to just say, like, no, I'm just gonna pull him in. I like Nyarlathotep. I'm just gonna grab him there, put him in. I like it, but it is just strange and kind of funny. After your conversation with Nyarlathotep, the dream world in which you find yourself starts to gradually regain a semblance of meaning. Although it is just as ill-defined as before, now at least you make an educated guess at what direction to take. Now you feel that you are able to make an actual decision instead of drifting aimlessly around these warped chambers. Forward, I guess? Walking is still rather difficult, and you are frequently hit by waves of disorientation and nausea. Nevertheless, you're confident that you are somehow advancing. With no points of reference, however, you have no way of knowing where or to what you are heading. One can only go forward. Oh, I don't like that. You sense something almost more like a feeling than a sound, like movements in sand. Spiked shadows materialize in front of you. At first they look like ugly stains in the darkness, but then their outlines become more defined. Horrific, long-limbed entities with claws and deformed, eyeless heads. You instinctually run in the opposite direction to the shifting, creeping beasts. As they get closer, the piercing sound of their snarling fills your ears. Your mind is still receiving distorted signals from your environment, and yet your desperation to escape is helping you focus. The beings are beginning to move in front of you with a fast and wild bursts of movement. In a way, they suit this place that is no place. You have to find a way out now, before escape becomes impossible and you begin to lose your determination. Yeah, I don't really want to get eaten by weird fucking eldritch abominations. Part of you just wants to give up. It would be so easy now to just give way to oblivion and let yourself be snatched up. Deep inside you, though, there's still your fear and your anger. Jake Huntington is still there, struggling away inside. Suddenly, you're confronted by another image. This latest apparition has upon her face a smile that leaves you breathless and stops your heart. Helen raises a hand, inviting you to take it in yours. She appears now as she was before the disease, how she was when you first fell in love with her. Your sweet Helen is there, smiling and stretching her pale hand out to you. Could it be that she has appeared now to save you? Every time I trust her, it's bad. I'm gonna do it again. Helen, please, don't be a bitch now. You're running. The excitement and the sensation of running takes over your body, and your whole being, as in the previous realities, that of London, that of men, that of Jake Huntington, as if you'd already escaped the nightmarish world surrounding you. Oh, I don't want it. When you reach for Helen's hand and hold it, feel its heat, its fragrance, you succumb to an intense feeling of peace. Finally, you experience once again the feeling of the world as it was before all this lunacy, before you knew anything of Zanzibar or the disease or of the cult. I don't like it. I don't care for it. I want to be out of here. I don't like being in the cosmos. Suddenly, pain shoots through your hand like thousands of needles puncturing your skin. Helen's smile widens slowly to become completely inhuman. Her teeth begin to deform and multiply, and her smile grows wider and wider, stretching her skin back until it suddenly rips and falls back, covering her entire face. Tentacles thrust out of her body, lacerating her skin as they grow and flail. They come for you, trying to entwine themselves around your limbs. There's nothing left that is human about its form, let alone anything of your dear wife. At your back, you hear the hideous appendages scrabble around, searching for your body, holding you, penetrating your flesh. You scream like you've never screamed before. The skin around your mouth is stretched to the limit by the ferocity of your screaming. Your throat burns. You feel pain and horror of contact with these otherworldly beings. Then darkness. Nothingness opens around you, and you plunge headlong into it. I don't like these dreams. They're getting real bad. You wake up with a start to find yourself back in the rock-walled cell. The cultist woman has gone. You still feel feverish and sore all over your body, but less so than before. You're panting heavily. You've just experienced the absolute worst of the feverish nightmares, yet it seemed all so real. Perhaps only certain parts of what happened to you had happened in the dream world. It could be that your dream functioned as a kind of portal. It is so the Dreamlands, of course it is. But you're quite sure that your encounters with Nyarlathotep and the other beings were actually real. I believe it. At the entrance of the cell appear 3 cultists, 2 women and a man. One of the women and the man approach you and start pulling off your shirt. The other woman is carrying a sponge and a bowl filled with a clear, pungent fluid. I feel like we should probably be resisting, you know. You shake and try to break free. The man gets a firm hold on your arms, so you take advantage of your sitting position to give a few hard kicks to defend yourself. You land a hard kick to the man's solar plexus, who is bent forward from the first blow. You're about to hit the back of his head when one of the 2 women gets a tight grip on your wrist with unexpected strength. The other woman hits you hard in the face and sidles up to your ear. We can do this nicely or not nicely. It makes no difference to us at all. Your arms and legs do not need to be intact for the ritual to take place. Oh, but I like them. We don't need you to be able to walk because we can easily drag you all the way to the inner temple. Yeah, I'm sure. Shut up! By this time, the man has got up and now he hits you hard in the gut. Bent over and gasping for air, your visitors resume your ritual ablutions. After they have stripped you of your shirt, you are left alone with the woman who's continuing the ablution of your body. I will now walk out of here. You'll follow me quietly and calmly, or do I have to call for you to be dragged there? Yeah, whatever. Fuck off. While you are considering your options, the woman puts her hand to her mask and raises it slightly. When you see her face by the dim light of the cell, you are utterly thunderstruck. Ayada! 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 It's you? What? 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 Yet you remain firm and impassive for a few moments. You saw Ayada die, and so seeing her now should be blowing your mind, and blew my mind. Perhaps it would have. Okay, yeah, I guess that's true. We did just get we did get attacked by eldritch abominations in the Dreamlands there just a second ago. So I guess a person being alive when we thought they were dead is not so crazy. Especially considering we ourselves fell right into the sea. Yeah, I probably should have expected her to be alive. Up until a few hours ago, but not now. Not after the unspeakable things you've just seen. You just look at her without speaking. You have known manifold aspects of Nyarlathotep. You have started to look out for other hidden realities beyond your own. You knew me as Ayada. To others I have been known as Yolanda. To yet others I am Madame Yi. Now you know who I am. I am the Witch of Dreams, servant of Azathoth. I am Yidra. Ooh, fun. The reality around you seems to bend and warp. You find yourself in the distorted and... I don't want to keep going here, goddammit. Take me back. I like bad, horrible cave temple. It's great compared to this shit. The reality around you seems to bend and warp. You find yourself in the distorted and disturbing dream world in which you met Nyarlathotep, only this time you're definitely awake. Ydra's appearance is no longer that of your shy Polynesian girl. She is now a resplendent goddess. You cannot help but look on in awe. Nyarlathotep spoke to you about the god Hastalik, sleeping in chains below this temple, and of his worshippers who want to awaken him and hand over the earth and all of humanity to satisfy his appetite. The summoning of Hastalik would only ruin and sully this world, which rightly belongs to Azathoth. I guess it really is just, which of the gods would you like to go with? I'd say I'm more of an Azathoth fan than an Hastalik fan, you know, if I gotta pick. You are paralyzed, stunned. Despite all your recent experiences, you are still shocked by intrusions from the dream world. Or perhaps it is Ydra herself who shocks you so. You can somehow sense her vast hidden power. The time of Azathoth will come, and the earth must be delivered to him as pure as can be. Hastalik should not be unleashed, and his attempts to defile the earth must be punished. His chains must be tightened, and his prison made even smaller. His every possibility of escape must be taken away forever. Cool. I guess. I guess. Hastalik is a now problem, and Azathoth is a far future problem, so I'm cool with going with Azathoth, I guess. You feel something, as if a hand were lightly touching your skin in a loving caress, but there is no hand, and Ydra's hands are lying at her side, yet you are certain that it is she who is somehow touching you. You take a step backwards at the thrill of her touch. I met you when I was incarnate. It was I who created the fog, I who brought you to the island. For some time I have been watching different branches of the cult of Hastalik, and I needed to meet you personally without outside interference. Her face carries a strange smile, somewhere between malevolent and pleased. Without knowing how, as if she had whispered it to your ear, you become aware that by interference she means Nyarlathotep. I know Hastalik is inside you, but I cannot accurately gauge the extent of your contamination. There was a time when we could have joined forces, but perhaps it isn't too late after all. Maybe there's still a chance. You can feel her eyes heavy upon you, searching inside you for something. What is she looking for? It is here, in this place, that my power is at its zenith. It is here and now that we will sabotage the cult's ritual and destroy both Hastalik and the cult, once and for all. If we join together now, perhaps I can even win over your infection. I guess. Sure. I ain't got no better idea. You are struck by sudden awareness. She will not make you do it. She will not force you. Whatever her motives, her purpose, and her power, it is you who must decide. Sure, I guess. I strongly doubt that I can do better alone. Helen, Ayada, you close your eyes to focus clearly on these two women, and then you know at once that, in this realm, there is no need to vocalize your answers. The contract with Ydra's hands becomes more intense, and suddenly your senses explode and you are flooded with lofty feelings of attraction that go far beyond physical desire. You are drawn closer and then both swept away, and your spirits transmitted elsewhere. You feel the weight of the moon and stars looming over, but you dare not open your eyes, partly in fear that you would somehow get lost in the surrounding madness, probably. Your contact and union with Ydra is physical, yes, but it is also something else, beyond the power of normal senses to feel, or of language to describe. When you are coming to the peak, time itself begins to implode indefinitely within you. Then suddenly, the reality comes back like a sledgehammer at you and you're back in the cell. This definitely isn't a dream. You can smell the damp air and feel the texture of the ground below your feet. She adjusts her mask, and suddenly she is no longer Ydra. The woman who replaces her starts collecting up the bowl and sponge as if nothing had happened, as if this person had noticed nothing at all. Ydra had been wearing her body as a vessel. Two large cultist men enter the cell, grab you by the arms, and carry you off. Ooh, goodbye, Mr. Huntington. I have a feeling that's the last one, maybe. It sounds like a last, Chapter name. You are taken to what must be some kind of holding room, also hewn from the rock, but not for long before you're picked up again and led along a winding, less artificial section of the tunnel. Here the going is much trickier, because the tunnel is in almost pitch darkness, and it turns illogically at certain points. Nonetheless, after a short time you're led into the Great Hall, the Temple of the Cult of Hastalik. Lovely. Plymouth, you got weird shit going on? Y'all got some weird shit going on that we need to be looking at? Where the fuck's the SCP Foundation? As you had expected, there are symbols everywhere, drawn or carved on rock walls, columns, and even on many of the giant head sculptures scattered around the temple. Despite their size, the giant head statues look almost like mistakes or rejects from a sculptor, having hybrid, distorted, and unpleasant features. The temple is a giant acoustic amplifier for the cultist dissonant chanting. In the center of the temple's huge symmetrical dome above you is a small circular opening to the sky. Oh, don't fall in there. Do not go for a walk. Plymouthians, the people of Plymouth, don't go walking around this lighthouse. You're gonna fall in here and be in a bad place. Directly and precisely below the opening on the temple floor is a circular pool of water exactly the same size, in which you can see the reflection of the night sky. In front of the pool, a cultist is waiting for you. You assume from the extra items of expensive-looking cloth that he must be a priest, or at least someone high up in rank. Probably the one to see to the correct observances during the ritual. Hey, Idra, were you gonna, tell me any of your plan at all? She didn't fucking tell me nothing. She fucked me and left. The man abandons his position and comes towards you. So, Dr. Huntington, we meet again. Oh, of course. Yeah, I know. We know who you is. The voice and that accent are instantly familiar from the secret club, and from before. Slowly he lowers his mask, uncovering his face, and confirms your suspicions. It's Meyer. Yeah. It was not so long ago that I was asking you to join us. If I recall correctly, you were not especially convinced at the time. I might not be able to cause more damage than I did. Yeah. I kind of want to taunt him, to be honest. Go for it. Meyer smiles. We would have preferred you to have actually volunteered for this role, but things will now follow our original plans, even against your will. Finally, Huntington, you're a doctor. You know perfectly well that it is not possible to save all of them, just as it is not always possible to eliminate all threat. For example, shall we talk about that child? What was his name? Ah yes, Scott. You are not even able to save the life of your friend and Commander's only son. Then tell me all the people I've fucking failed, because there's kind of been a few. You're dumbfounded. How could he know so much about your life? If nothing else, you managed to prevent another young boy from losing his life. Or at least he struggled until the very end. Fuego had his fate sealed for him when you came to try and rescue him. Small consolation, but in any case, you are acutely aware of the trail of blood caused by your actions. Everything I put your actions prevented me from doing so. Yeah, I don't think that accusing him is really going to get anything done. I'm kind of curious what he'll say. Now we know how determined you can be, Huntington. It's just a pity that you have always been a step or two behind us, especially on the really important questions, as at the time of your wife Helen's illness. It feels like an electric shock. What does he mean by this? Could it be that the cult is somehow involved in the sickness and death of your wife? Oh. Could we really speech our way through that, you think? I don't think that we could. No, there's no way. We're not gonna make this, I don't think so. No. Always one step ahead, always safe, but your certainty will work against you soon. I'm not your only enemy. Meyer laughs heartily. What a pathetic attempt, Huntington. Although I greatly admire your tenacity, it is time that you accept defeat. Maybe I should have saved that for another thing. You have fits of rage, but you're held tightly back by two other cultists. You growl at Meyer. Are you turning against us yet again? How dare you, after accepting money from us to pursue your research to eradicate diseases such as that which killed your wife? Meyer laughs, then replaces his mask. But don't worry, none of that matters now. It is time. Ooh, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. Don't make me go there. Two men drag you into the center of the chamber, right to the edge of the pool. Your legs give way momentarily. There's something inside, something seriously malevolent. You feel its vibrations, and you can hear its silent calling inside your body. While the two men push you ever closer to the water, Meyer turns to his companions and the chanting begins to rise to a crescendo. Then you spot the comet, reflected in the small circle of living liquid in front of you. You muster all your remaining strength and swing your arms back in a jerking motion. The motion contained enough momentum to unbalance the two cultists holding you. You waste no time and knee one of them in the face before he has a chance to stand up. I like when we can fight without doing the check of fighting. I like that. Many others are upon you now. They grab and push you violently towards the pool. The comet is now completely filling the disc. Then Meyer approaches and turns your head to face his. You are face to face with the eerie smile of the ritual mask. Goodbye, Mr. Huntington. No, I don't want to go in the water. I think I'm going in the water. You are unable to breathe. The water rapidly fills your mouth, throat, and lungs. You can feel it suffocating you organ by organ, as if the water were a sentient entity moving inside you, looking for something. You can see the flare of the comet underwater, and you become aware of the immense and powerful energy swirling slowly around the pool. You can feel Hastelik's essence filling you, appropriating your body. Ugh. Your flesh no longer belongs to you. Your spirit no longer belongs to you. You are just a vehicle, a shell. Soon Jake Huntington will no longer exist. You hear the joyful cries of the cultists joining another cry, a cry that only you can hear. Did I lose? It is the exuberant cry of Hastelik, god of plague, the ancient monster now freed, finally able to enter the terrestrial realm. The water of the pool moves inside your body as if it were alive, creeping into every crevice and forcing itself inside you. It isn't long before you've stopped breathing, but somehow you remain conscious, as if your consciousness is no longer necessary for your own body. Hastelik now has full possession of your body, which relents easily under the influence of the powerful divinity. You see your skin becoming covered with festering sores. He is growing. Soon Jake Huntington's face will disappear, to become the personification of the horrendous Hastelik. Oh, nothing else remains around the ruins. Did I lose? Was that loss? Did I lose? With your final thoughts, you realize that this whole time you've been a puppet in the hands of the cult and of the beings that they worship. Not only did you let them use you, but you are directly guilty for the release of this ancient evil upon the face of the world. Oh shit. Your last moments are a sort of hallucinatory nightmare, flashes of a vision of the future. Hastelik dominating the planet. The human race is completely enslaved in the world that you know gone forever. You see the monster basking in human suffering. He uses them to test his horrible blights, covering them with painful festering sores. A herd of wretched beings that Hastelik farms, and which keep him amused and contented, as he feeds constantly on their immense suffering. Another vision comes to you. This time there are human beings living inside a dream world, a reality where technology has evolved, and it seems that man can create objects and perform actions which look like magic. You see that mankind has learned to fly and create images on flat surfaces like mirrors. Oh shit. We're seeing the future. Hastelik takes even more pleasure from these deluded souls, victims of perverse hallucinations created by one of his diseases. The men and women believe that this alternative world, this world of the future, is something concrete, something real. Hastelik cleanly anticipates the pleasure he will have when the veil of hallucinations is dropped, and the people will learn the awful truth of their existence. Oh. Shit. It will be an incomparable delicacy for the cruel god when they find out that they have been living in an illusion the whole time. Their bodies were being slowly consumed by horrific diseases. Oh. The end. Oh, I mean, you can't say it wasn't appropriate for the genre. Oh, I wasn't expecting it to go like that. I was kind of expecting more to happen there in the end. I didn't expect them to just take me there and I lose. So that was interesting. Like I said, not inappropriate, just kind of interesting. Like what happened with Lady? Was it that last dialogue that I did with Meyer? Was failing that check really bad? Should I have done something different? I don't know. Who can say? Who can say in this world what the proper thing to do was? I did really enjoy the game. It was very interesting. I'd never played a game like that before. Like it was more of like a book with soft RPG stuff. I did find that quite fun. I wonder what all how all that can go in the end. Like I know there were many choices that were made in that game, and I'm curious how far I imagine you probably end up in the temple no matter what you're doing throughout the game. So I don't think it like diverges that greatly between the different things, but I do believe there's multiple endings to it. So I am curious what the other endings would be. Did I get the worst possible ending? I think I might have. It feels like it. I wish I had made a different choice there at the end. The eye. The Lohastlik. You have unlocked the choice history and fast-forward features that allow you to discover Omen Exitio Plague's unexplored routes, retrace your steps, and write a new story. Well, that's all fun and everything, but I believe in what you get is what you get, personally. Some people like to play around with these, see all the endings, but I think it's more. I think it's better if you stick with what you got, even if it was real depressing. I mean, again, Lovecraft, the great old ones waking up and devouring the world. That's pretty appropriate for a Lovecraft thing. I do wish I had seen more of what would happen with the Nyarlathotep and Nidra, though. I tried to just like, what did I decide there that made that not happen? Was that I needed to make more choices before I don't know. See, there's no way of knowing. Maybe I'd made numerous bad choices earlier in the game, and it was just by the time I got there, I was fucked. Well, that was fun, everybody. I hope you had a good time. Oh, that's funny. I didn't expect it to go that way at all. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this series. If you did, then I have many other series I've done. At this point, I've done so many games. So very many games. I'm not sure what I'm going to play next. I still haven't decided that yet. I have a couple things in my mind. A couple different games. But I haven't decided for sure which one I'm going to do. But anyway, if you have enjoyed this, and you would like to see more, you know, you can always hit that little subscribe button if you want. You don't have to, though. I just like people watching. You know, it's fun. It's fun times. But anyway, I will leave it there. I hope you have a good day. Goodbye!